Hey, how's it going, guys? So today we're taking a look at the second in the Petitrits line of kits here from Fate Grand Order. This is Caster Nero Claudius. The first one was, of course, Shielder. We took a look at that, and so now we're going to be taking a look at the second one here. These were released at the same time. We've got one more coming out next month, so we'll check that out when that's out. For the time being, as always, guys, huge thank you to USA Gundam Store for their support in making this review possible. So if you like this kit, you want to check it out, you like this kind of stuff, or anything else in the kind of Gundam, Kotobukiya, and all that kind of stuff, you can check all that out, of course, down there on USA Gundam Store's website. Hobby supplies, too, paint and all that kind of stuff as well. Of course, don't forget that's all there. And you can save 10% off everything using my coupon code ZakuAurelius10, so check that out. Let's check the kit out here. So again, we got a cool illustration here on the front of the character in this sort of semi-SD style. Looks very nice. Let's go around here onto the side of the box. You can see this is number 02 in the line, and then down here, just once again highlighting the different colors molded onto the runners. You've got a few of those, of course, and it looks like we've got some gold parts as well for obviously those gold parts for her artillery there. It's got some weapons as well as some clear red for this cool sword part, and just showing off the details there with these pre-molded bikini parts there, it looks like. And then the action posing, of course, not really the most posable, but you can do some cool stuff. Got a little quote there. "You're looking at me, what an honest person." Okay, alright. And then on the other side, once again, just a look at the back, and then a front view showing the thing in full scale, actual size here being 10 centimeters tall, just showing you there on the outside of the box. So it's kind of cool. Nice to see that. In case you were wanting to buy this at the store, you didn't know exactly how big it was going to be when you built it because the box is kind of small. You get an actual idea of how big it's going to be right there on the outside of the box. So that's pretty convenient. On the inside, once again, we've got 4 runners here at this one. Actually, with the first kit was just 2 big ones. This is 1 big one and kind of 3 small ones. So I think it's going to be a similar amount of parts with this, basically. But just the runners are split up a little bit differently. So once again, the manual as well here is all in color on the front, this long fold out style, and then just black and white there on the back. So here at the top, we've got the parts list there, and the stickers are all listed here. And then it's just construction, starting off with the face, the body, and the arms and the legs and all of that. Down here we do have our color guide there in Japanese and English as well. And then back around to the back, finishing the assembly of the body and the weapons, and then the display base. We got that cool water display base for this one as well. So let's check out the runners. Alright, so here is the foil stickers, and once again for this kit we do have a few of them, little color correcting stickers there in white and sort of really super dark gray, and then some metallic-y red there, and then of course the stickers for the eyes once again as well. And then once again with this one we do have some marking stickers here as well. These are mainly just for like the clothing bits, although this kit doesn't really have a lot of those. These are going to be just some red and white ones there. Alright, so our nice big 4-color A runner here. We've got a couple of just plain clear parts over here on the side for like kind of support parts. Some clear blue parts there, of course, for the base. A whole bunch of yellowish blonde parts there for the hair and the eyes. And then down here, not actually clear red. I was expecting that to be clear red for the blade part, but I guess I can see these are just all in just regular plain or opaque red, sorry. And then we got runner B for all of our skin tone parts. Obviously going to be a fair amount of those, as this kit, the character is just in a bikini, so there's going to be a lot of parts making up just the kit in skin tone color. And then we got C1 in this molded gold, but it's a really interesting molded gold because it's got a flat tone to it. It's kind of a matte finish to it, rather than usually when we get this pre-molded gold or this gloss injected, gold injected plastic, it's usually kind of glossy, but this one is not actually. That's kind of interesting. We also have runner C2, which is a copy of this section here, although I'm sad to see that for these cannon bits that's going to be 2 halves sandwiched together, so you'll have seam lines going through all these cannon parts. That's going to be a pain in the ass. But that is it for the parts. As you can see, there's a fair amount of them in there, but it should be pretty nice, as we saw with the shielder as well. So let me get this all built up and we'll take a look. Alright, and here she is all built up there just with the simple base, because she is not going to be able to stand up on without that base. The hair out the bat, the pigtails are just going to be very heavy, and so yeah, it's not going to happen. So you need her up on the base, so it's nice that that is included. That just clips onto the back of her leg there, and looks pretty good, I gotta say. I mean, the color separation, everything, the parts, everything all look pretty good. The hand looks a bit weird in terms of the proportions. Obviously it's SD proportions, so it's, or like somewhat SD proportions, so it's gonna be, you know, very stylized anyway. But the hand looks a bit large, and it looks just a bit strange. I wish that they would have made the hand a little bit smaller. That open hand, the holding hand, obviously is gonna be holding the sword in a moment, so it's not really gonna be too big of a difference. I don't think it's going to be all that noticeable, but the open hand, to me, I don't know, is very noticeably large. Otherwise, the rest of the kit looks good. It's a pretty sticker heavy, I gotta say. And so I'll show you where all of those are in just a moment. But first, just once again, here is a look at that sword. Just all molded in red here. It's going to be a little bit boring, but there is some nice molded design on there. So just painting this up, or at least doing some panel lining on this or something, will help bring out the design on that. And then you've got these things, Canon things that will plug onto the base here. So these have got stickers on there, red stickers that wrap around on there, and then some kind of dark gray stickers there in for the ends of those. So these are pretty cool. They just plug onto the base here next to her, and those are attached at the top via a ball joint, so you can kind of move those around if you need to. But otherwise, nothing really too much else moves on them, except for you can rotate these cannon bits like that. If you wanted to have them more pointing up or down, you can move those a little bit, but not really going to be a whole lot that you can really do with those. Basically, they're just there to be set beside her as some sort of floating artillery there that go along with her like that. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about some of the articulation and point out some of the other stickers as well here. So of course the eyes, those are once again stickers for this kit, and they look, again, like with the shielder, they look okay. The eyes look fine. I wish that those would have been pre-molded parts like with the figure eyes line, or at least that they would have had the molding in there for those, so that when you're painting it, it's basically just like filling in the lines, but it's just flat underneath there. So if you're not using the stickers, then you're just gonna have to just freehand all of that painting. As for the stickers here on the front of the bikini, white stickers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those white stickers, because that bikini part is all in red. And the same thing here for the pants part. You got 1, 2, 3 white stickers for that as well. On the back, this is all originally just flesh tone, so you have one big sticker there which makes up the back of the bikini there at the top. And then for the feet, you have, that's all, once again, just all in flesh tone, so this red on the top of the feet, that's all a big sticker that fits over the top of that as well. So you've certainly got a few of them, but they all fit on there pretty well. I mean, it doesn't, they're not really super obviously stickers, so I mean, if you're just putting this up, if you're just building this up quickly just to put on the shelf and just have something to put on your shelf or your desk or something, then the stickers will work fine. Obviously, painting would be the better option if you can, but if you just want something real quick to build and have a simple little thing, then the stickers, I think, are perfectly fine. So this little bit of hair here at the top is on a ball joint, so that can kind of move around a little bit like so if you wanted to change that more to one side or the other. Then the head will move up to there and then down to there, so you got a little up and down movement, of course rotation in there as well. These bits of hair are just in a peg, so you can just rotate them. It's not ball joints, actually just pegs, so just rotation is all you're gonna be able to do with those, but you can still get them to look pretty cool. I think those definitely add a bit of dynamic look to the figure itself, even though if it's just standing there, just having the hair like that just really adds a lot to it, I think. Once again, there's no articulation at all in the whole torso section, and the legs are also just no knee articulation in there at all. It's just one solid piece. There's a seam line all the way down through that, but the pieces fit so tightly together, as you can see, the seam line is barely visible. Legs will be able to go out to there and then forward, barely anything at all, back a little bit, so not really too much forward and back movement again for the legs. The feet, once again, are just on a ball joint, so you can move those a little bit side to side, and yeah, that's about it. As for the hands, those can just rotate. The elbow joint can just bend about 90 degrees, sorry, and then you can rotate that at the bicep. The bicep is separated in the middle where you can rotate the arm there, and then the arm, of course, can move up and down, and you can rotate that as well. It's connected into the body just via a small little ball joint in there. Then once again, here is a size comparison with the HD RX-782 Gundam, and as you can see, you could use that sword with some other sort of Gundam kit or something if you wanted to. It makes for a pretty cool, unique sword. If you wanted to make some really interesting custom with that, could be kind of cool as well to make some sort of custom in, like modifying these parts to be a shoulder armor or something on a Gundam. That could be kind of cool. Something like the Gansalot or something like that. I think it would sort of fit the look of that. But anyway, one other thing just about these parts, as I mentioned before, the kind of matte finish on this molded gold does look really, really nice. You really don't notice as much of that kind of marbling effect or the kind of lines made from just the injection molding, like you can see here on that part. You can see that kind of line going across that part there, where when they have these parts in the more gloss, the more common just kind of gloss finish for the molded gold, it's usually pretty noticeable, but on these it's really not as much noticeable, so I definitely think it looks a lot better in this finish. So like I said with the Shielder, guys, just basically due to the low complexity of these kits, the small size, and the small price, you can't really expect them to do a whole lot. There's a couple little different variations of a standing pose that you can do holding the sword, and it does look pretty cool, but you know, it's not going to be able to do any sort of really super dynamic posing. That is just straight out of the box with what you get included with the box. I could definitely see, you know, obviously someone modifying the kit a little bit to do some other more cool dynamic posing, and I don't think it would be too complicated depending on what you want to do, of course. But again, I think definitely these are the perfect fit for someone who's a fan of the series and you want something that's pretty cheap and really simple to build. You can build in a really short amount of time. Just stick it up on your desk or on your shelf, shoulder, and just still have a nice looking yet much cheaper version of something like an Nendroid, which it would be much more expensive. That said, while I don't own any, from what I understand of Good Smile's Nendroid series, is that they are, of course, of nicer quality than this overall, and they have more accessories and things like that included, so I guess you could see that as worth the higher price of being around $50 compared to this being around $15. But if you would like to build it yourself and you don't really want a whole lot of the other accessories, and especially if you want to paint it yourself, then getting something like this I think is a really nice deal. I mentioned in the Shielder review that I wish that these would maybe come with 1 or 2 different hand options. I still feel like that with this kit as well. Of course, having a couple different option parts in there would have been nice. But the other thing is that having maybe just a second face option would also be nice, just a different expression for the face. That's something that Bandai has been getting wrong from the start of when they've been doing their Mecha Musume kits with like the Build Fighters Girl series kits. They did finally get that a little bit better by giving the Diver Nami a couple face option parts, but otherwise, for some reason, they just don't really seem to want to do that, so I don't really know why, but hopefully they'll figure that out, that, you know, having some more options is always a good thing and not a bad thing. But hey, anyway, that's it for the review, guys. There is another one of these coming out next month, so we'll take a look at that when that comes out. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you have further questions or comments, of course, feel free to leave those down below. And again, big thanks to US Gundam Store for their support, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.